bill says is get the parents' permission.
Newly elected Senator John Kavanaugh says his Senate Bill 1001 isn't intended to limit transgender rights for minors. It's supposed to help these minors' parents be more informed when their student goes by a different pronoun or name than their biological one.
Schools are keeping the parents in the dark, which prevents the parents from helping the child and supporting the child and perhaps getting outside psychological help for the child.
If signed into law, Kavanaugh's bill would not allow school employees to knowingly refer to a student by a pronoun that differs from the pronoun that matches the student's biological sex, even if that's what the student wants, unless the student's parents have signed permission for the employees to do so.
This bill is about child safety. We don't want to hide from the parents psychological problems that could result in suicide, right? And about parental rights. Parents have a right to know something this significant about the child.
But Human Rights Campaign Arizona Director Bridget Sharp says if passed, the bill would create more threats to a child's safety, not less.
A student has the right to express their gender identity. They have a right to express that to whoever they wish. And, it's up to them who they trust and who they feel safe around to be able to share that information.
Sharp says while a parent's signature might not seem like much, it's something that other students don't have to deal with.
It just sort of says that, pronouns are only important if it's a non-binary person or a trans person. It's making an issue that doesn't exist.
Again, this is just a proposed bill at this stage in time. Nothing has been passed or signed into law. If it does go into effect, it would only apply to students that are younger than 18. Kavanaugh also says that it would be up to the schools on how to enforce policies related to this bill. Live in Phoenix, Elliot Polikoff, Arizona's Fan.
Elliot, thanks very much.